Now let me ask you a question. What is the mother of all diseases? You may say cancer or heart disease, but according to doctors, this disease is called the mother of all diseases, obesity. It is a global health epidemic, and obesity is only getting bigger. In less than 2 decades, more than half of the world's adult population and a third of children and teenagers will suffer from it. Before we tell you why, let's start with the basics. What is obesity? According to the World Health Organization, it is defined as the accumulation of excessive fat, and it is a major health risk. Obesity poses the threat of early death, high blood pressure, heart disease, diabetes, cancer, and several other problems. Yet more than 2 billion adults and about 500 million children are overweight or obese the world over. And these figures have seen a rapid rise. Compare this with numbers from 1990. That's when more than 700 million adults and about 200 million children were suffering from the disease. The numbers have more than doubled over the past 3 decades or so. And if this trend continues, then by the year 2050, about 4 billion adults, or half the world's adult population, 4 billion people, and more than 700 million children, or a third of the world's young population, will be overweight or obese the world over. This is according to a new study of global data published in the Lancet journal. And it comes as a shock. The statistic is staggering, of course, but also because this trend is a strange transition. You see, for centuries, being underweight was the bigger problem. But now obesity is the most common form of malnutrition in many countries. It is a form of malnutrition. The number of underweight people has fallen, while obesity rates have increased. Now, 2/3 of the world is more obese than underweight. But despite this shift, one obvious link remains, and that is malnutrition. Malnutrition, in whichever form, mostly remains the disease of the poor. More than half of the world's obese adults live in just 8 countries. China leads the pack with 402 million overweight or obese people. This is followed by India, the world's most populous nation. And this is a curious case, India, where 800 million adults live on food subsidy, but 180 million people are obese. Look at the stark disparity. Then we have the US with its high junk food consumption. 172 million people in the US, million adults in the US, are obese. Now, barring a few exceptions, you will see that low and middle income countries carry the weight of the world, and this trend is not expected to change anytime soon. But in the coming years, its focus will shift. Rapid acceleration of obesity will move towards sub-Saharan Africa, where obesity will rise by 250%. And the worst hit will be Nigeria, where 141 million people, 141 million adults will be obese. This is a grim forecast, and it comes with seismic health and economic consequences. But why is it happening? Short answer, thanks to a global policy failure. Long answer, a range of problems: poor levels of healthcare and treatments, failure to boost levels of physical activity, rising prices of healthy food, cheap and widely available junk food, and soaring levels of pollution. All of this contributes to the trend. Sure, countries have been taking steps in the right direction. For instance, here in India, we've recently launched an anti-obesity campaign, and leading it was the Prime Minister himself. He urged people to consume less oil and challenge others to do the same. And this is a good way to boost collective action. It shows you intent at the very top of the government. But relying on behavioral change alone may not be enough. Solutions have to focus on structural change, on policies around food and environment. And most nations are lacking here. Citizens need walkable cities, marketing restrictions on junk food, higher taxes on sugary drinks, better access to healthy food, physical education in schools, and a special focus on low-income households who rarely have a choice in the matter. If governments are serious about tackling obesity, there is a range of urgent changes that need to be made. And as they say, there is no day like today to start. After all, it is the World Obesity Day today.
Merci beaucoup. Hi, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Namaste, Mr. President.
Bharat Kelogon, Komeri Namaste.
How many people generally follow you in interviews?
Typically in a month, we have viewers up to 150 million. That's more than twice the population of France. And in the last 2 years, we had 3 billion viewers. So I say, Laurent, this is your chance to be famous. You're on Firstpost. One word to describe your equation with Prime Minister Modi.
Amitié.
As India and France work together, are you creating a new era of non-alignment in the technology space?
India is a training superpower. 1 million engineers a year, more than all of Europe and the US combined. So we have that partnership. We have a partnership on the environment and the economy. We also have civilian nuclear programs, and that is something we've developed far beyond the France-India relationship. So we want to work together on AI.
And then comes China with its DeepSeek, creating models at a fraction of the cost. Did that innovation take you by surprise? Did that breakthrough make you sit up and think, what did the Chinese do and how?
But what did DeepSeek do? They took everything that was already available from the last AI model, and then they recalibrated it.
So are you going to ban Chinese AI in France?
So we don't have this American approach of banning tech because of where it comes from.